Wait, you're joking, right? He's in prison. Yeah, I'm not giving up.
Come here, Jimmy. Come right. I have a clue. I'll give you this one and that one. What do you say? No.
네. 먹을래? 안 좋아져. 다시 먹자. 음.